the official start of Heritage Month 2018, and what better way to kickstart our celebrations than at this token of appreciation to one of our cultural icons, the indomitable Louise Simone Bennett Coverley. There's a lot more in store for you. We soon come.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, October 1. Government will be spending approximately $3 billion over the next 2 years to upgrade 200 police stations across the island. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang gave the assurance on Thursday as he toured the construction sites of the Buff Bay and Port Antonio police stations. The building being constructed at the Buff Bay station will house cell blocks, and the Port Antonio station will be the divisional headquarters for Portland. The construction for both facilities is expected to be completed in October next year.
It's our commitment to ensure that the police officers will have satisfactory space in which to work and operate. Satisfactory for both the officers and for the clients who are coming there to use the police stations.
The Ministry of Justice is reporting improvement in the clearing up of cases brought before the courts since the start of this year. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says the justice sector is far advanced in its projection to clear up more than 30,000 backlogged cases by 2020.
For the first 6 months of this year, I've been able to look at the statistics. And for every 100 cases that came in, we're now up to an average of about 90 being completed. Now, the projection is we have to get to a situation where for every 100 cases that come in, we actually dispose of 130 or 140.
Minister Chuck was speaking at a JIS think tank on Wednesday. The minister says Chief Justice Brian Sykes has been holding regular consultations with all stakeholders to reduce downtimes in the courts and the backlog of cases. The Early Childhood Commission, ECC, is calling for more partnerships to upgrade infant schools across the island. The call was made by ECC's chairperson, Tricia Williams-Singh, at the handover of the upgraded Middlesex Infant School in Holland, St. Elizabeth, on Wednesday. The project was undertaken by the J. Ray and Nephew Foundation at a cost of $30 million.
The foundation has indeed helped to transform lives and communities for a better Jamaica through this project, which will benefit hundreds of children and, more importantly, 600 households in this community.
The school now has additional classrooms, a fully equipped computer lab, new restrooms, sick bay, and a play area. The expansion will result in the infant school, which accommodates some 53 students, gaining certification from the Early Childhood Commission. The Transport Authority Validation and Indemnity Act 2016 was passed in the Senate on Friday. The act seeks to validate and confirm the activities of the authority. Under the legislation, the Transport Authority and every person acting on behalf of the government will be protected from any legal action arising from the imposition and collection of fees between December 1, 1989 and December 8, 2015. In piloting the bill, Senator Ruel Reid explained that since December 1, 1989, the Transport Authority, in good faith, has been collecting fees from operators of public passenger vehicles in the absence of legislative authority for such collection.
This bill, therefore, contains two provisions with the objective of correcting the anomaly that has been outstanding for so long and to indemnify the officers of the authority who were collecting the said fees before the regulations were gazetted.
The fees collected were used to cover expenses relating to the regulating and monitoring responsibilities of the authority. Senator Reid explained that the Transport Authority fees regulations were gazetted on December 8, 2015 to bring the entity's activities in line with the provisions of the Transport Authority Act. Transport Authority Act 1987 provides that the authority may, in carrying out its functions, charge and collect such fees as may be prescribed. Jamaicans will soon be able to travel to Russia without a visa for a period not exceeding 90 days per year. The same applies to citizens of Russia as a result of a waiver of visa requirements. Cabinet has given approval for an amendment to the existing agreement between the government and the Russian Federation. In making the announcement, Information Minister Senator Ruel Reid says initial agreements had varying visiting periods of 30 to 90 days.
Drafting instructions have been issued to effect the necessary changes.
Minister Reid was speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing. He says more details will be provided on the implementation. And finally, sculptor Basil Watson has been given the go-ahead to begin work on the statues of Veronica Campbell-Brown and Asafa Powell. The agreement was signed by Sports Minister Olivier Grange. The renowned Jamaican sculptor was commissioned to design and create statues of 4 of Jamaica's outstanding sports stars. These include Usain Bolt, Shalane Fraser-Pryce, Veronica Campbell-Brown, and Asafa Powell as part of the Jamaica 55 Legacy Program. To date, Usain's statue has been delivered and mounted at the National Stadium, with the unveiling of Shelly-Ann's statue set for later this month. Minister Grange says the maquettes of Asafa and Veronica will be unveiled later this year and the statues mounted in 2019. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Boy, you know shame. It's say you come after you dance along. Not even little language, boy. Not even little twang. You remember that poem? Patois is one way to identify a Jamaican. Watch this next feature to learn about Willico Island.
The food. The food of love. Sounds to really make you rub and scrub. The people. The natural beauty. The music.
Give thanks to God again and again. Oh, if we could love each other.
This is ex-Jamaica or Jamaica. The land of food and water. Woo! Country Jamaica is the largest in the Caribbean that speaks English. Even though we look small on the map, the country covers over 4,000 square miles.
Way back then, when your mother's, father's, uncle's picnic son was alive, we were emancipated. We no longer had to work as slaves. Yes!
And on August 6, 1962, we became independent. We were now responsible for ourselves. And we were the first English-speaking country in the Caribbean to do so.
Ending slavery was not the only good thing. In 1944, Mommy and Daddy got the chance to choose who should run the country by voting. Did you know that the largest parish in Jamaica is St. Anne? And you'll never guess what the longest river is. It's the Rio Minho in Clarendon.
And did you know that Jamaica was the first commercial producers of banana in the Western Hemisphere? The Manchester Golf Club is also the oldest golf club in the Western Hemisphere.
Our Milk River Bath and Mineral Spa is the most radioactive in the world, and that's a good thing. The Kingston Harbor is the 7th largest natural harbor in the world.
And do you know the birthplace of reggae music is right here in Jamaica? One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright.
Hear the children crying. Hear the children crying.
It can can be black or creamy. What am I talking about? The Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, which so many people love. And the Jamaica rum, Daddy says is good. It's sell off.
Jamaica is also home to the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt, to the world. And we are the first and only country to hold the male 100-meter title at all levels, including Olympics and World Champs. And it's not only track and field that we are good at. We do not have snow, but we do participate in the Winter Olympics. Cool runnings.
Some things just can't be said in English. You are talking too much. No, you're just a chat to tag along, so.
Jamaica, gold, 37.10,
world record! Born and fed in Jamaica, homegrown athletes sustained by the foods of the soil, enriched to reach international heights of glory.
This is a fabulous moment in Jamaican and Caribbean track and field history.
An agricultural sector steeped in a tradition of excellence, ripe for expanded production, energized to tap into new markets. A nation of champions. Food. For most, that probably means the broad label for just about every edible item we humans consume. Now, Jamaicans fully agree to this, but in the lingua of the island, food is also a specific term for the side dishes that accompany the main course of Jamaican meals. You might also hear them called ground or grung provisions: yam, potato, sweet or Irish, dasheen, cocoa, cassava, and others that are staples of the island's agricultural output. Farmers, supported by government and strong private groups, plant and harvest these crops for the discerning Jamaican consumer and a reliable export market. As the world marvels at the lightning speed of the likes of Usain Bolt and Veronica Campbell-Brown, many have asked, is it in the food? Perhaps the yellow yam?
969.
When we roast the yellow yam, when we roast the yellow yam, and we slice it in a two, and we slice it in a two.
The skin is brown, sometimes black, and some say scaly. Peel away the outer layer and get to the heart of its starchy goodness. There you'll find fulfillment and a taste that is as distinctive as the indescribable talent of our trailblazing athletic stars. More importantly, in the heart of our yams are essential nutrients for healthy living: vitamins C and B6, potassium, manganese, fiber, and iron. These nutrients converge in several varieties of the Jamaican yam, a tuber with off-white, purple, white, yellow, and sometimes red flesh, depending on the variety. For every type of yam, there is a uniquely Jamaican name, like renta, yampi, moonshine, or afu. Whatever the name, they're all edible, just so long as you cook them first. And with thousands of acres of fertile land, yam production is an island-wide vocation in Jamaica. But you might be surprised, or not, to know that the most popular yam-producing parish, Trelawney, is also the home of the world's fastest man.
Corrected to 969. The relax. Usain Bolt. Tremendous running by this man.
Daylight come and me want go home. Work all night.
From jerk to curry recipes, Jamaican cooking is all about the spices, sourced right on the island. With the support of the state entity responsible for managing all things agricultural, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Jamaica's spice producers are on the verge of stamping a bolder mark on the competitive international industry, with many programs unfurling to increase the production of traditional spices like ginger, turmeric, nutmeg and pimento, and non-traditional spices such as hot peppers and onion. And the possibilities are bountiful. Take ginger and turmeric, for example. Both grow with relative ease almost anywhere on the island. In fact, travel to some places in Jamaica and you can find turmeric growing wild, unfettered by any environmental condition that could stunt its growth. Whether for use as a condiment, for its healing properties, or simply for coloring, consumers worldwide can't seem to get enough turmeric. Global trade in turmeric has been trending up, and so have prices. As for Jamaican ginger, it has long been considered among, if not the best in the world. Current global demand for Jamaican ginger is estimated at 21,000 metric tons in its fresh form and 4,200 tons dried, and there's room for growth. Jamaica is a tiny giant in the world of agro-processed foods. Island producers are dishing out big, unique flavors, employing ingenuity and utilizing the support of state agencies to steadily eke out more of the international market for these goods. Jamaican companies like Central Food Packers are making a mark on this agricultural offshoot, exporting quality canned, bottled and baked foods to markets in North America, the United Kingdom, Canada and the Caribbean. Included in the mix are mild to spicy hot sauces, jams and jellies, a must if you want to proclaim your Jamaicanness. Ackee, delivered to you in a can, and for a bit of green delight, callaloo canned in brine. Then there are some unique Jamaican spreads for your breads and biscuits, like a dab of Solomon Gundy, or a spoonful of delicious mango, sorrel or tamarind chutney. And let's not forget the roots wines. Jamaica's value-added agro-processors are engaged in other sweet pursuits. Companies like Honeykiss are churning out all-natural honey confections. As they'll tell you, and you can taste for yourself, pure Jamaican wildflower honey is infused with just a choops of natural unique fruits, vegetables and spices, ginger, Blue Mountain coffee, pimento, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper. Sweet, aromatic, rich, strong are entirely inadequate labels. Have a taste of authentic Jamaican honey, and what you'll get is a pure, honest flavor, aroma and taste, and medicinal benefits that make healthy living absolutely enticing. Whether your delight is tea, coffee, or maybe cocoa, Jamaican value-added producers have carved out a reputation for delivering only the best. Jamaica is known for its lush landscapes, revered for its music, celebrated for its track stars, and the world is hooked on our coffee. And it's hardly surprising. The species of choice in the Jamaican coffee industry, Arabic coffee, is widely accepted as producing the far superior cup. And Blue Mountain is the brand best loved by coffee connoisseurs from near and far, commanding high prices wherever it's sold. Cultivated high up in the misty blue-hued mountains of the island, maturing in rich volcanic-based soil, only the best bright red cherries are hand-picked, sun-dried, stored, cured, hulled, polished, sized, hand-sorted and packaged to bring the highest quality coffee to your tables. The end product is a cup of exceptionally balanced, exotic and intense aroma with an intricate range of flavor notes that is said to include a subtle hint of herbs, spice and chocolate. Let's take a tea break. Authentic, Jamaican, instant, Salada teas are among a thriving tea market that bags flavors familiar to most people and countries, mixed in with some distinct Jamaican blends. Now for another sweet treat. The cacao plant, or Jamaican cocoa, is a wide-branching evergreen tree from which the world-famous Jamaican cocoa, chocolate, and cocoa butter are produced. Local companies like Chocolate Dreams are milking the lessons learned from centuries of Jamaican cocoa production to turn out sweet delights for every palate. Besides being a pleasure to the taste buds, these products benefit from the many nutritious compounds of the Jamaican cocoa beans. From the mild stimulant of the caffeine alkaloid theobromine to its natural fat starch and the natural amphetamine phenylethylamine, Jamaican cocoa is a folk remedy for maladies from wounds to fevers, coughs, burns, and listlessness. Its fat, Jamaican cocoa butter, is used in confections, in manufacturing soaps and cosmetics. Sweet, medicinal, another Jamaican agri-pursuit poised for new investment, ready to compete with the best anywhere in the world. So, what's your delight? Whatever it is, Jamaican farmers and end producers are uniquely and creatively positioned to deliver. In this land of wood and water, champions are not just made for the tracks, they're also found in the fields and in the shopping carts of discerning consumers the world over.
Enjoy yourself in your homeland. A little more, I and I roll queen. Go rubber dub it, but I will lick a scene.
Bask in the glory of this island in the SUN.
This is Jamaica, this is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica, this is our land.
This is my island in the sun.
The allure of the landscape, the white coral sands, the sea-carved cliffs of the shorelines, the warm, free spirit of the people beckons tenderly to natives and visitors alike. From coastal wetlands, plains and highlands to the misty peaks of the Blue Mountains, the fairest isle eyes will ever behold, this is Jamaica, land of wood and water.
Oh, island in the sun.
Swept by the warm trade winds, it sits some 600 miles from the Florida Panhandle and is the most westward in the Caribbean archipelago. Enveloped in a warm tropical climate and sprayed by the Caribbean Sea, the island is covered with the lush vegetation of tropical forests which span over 120 rivers and innumerable springs and streams.
The heaven on high, I lift my heavy load to the sky. Sun comes down with a burning glow, mingles my sweat with the earth below.
This natural paradise of over 4,000 square miles is home to about 2.7 million English-speaking inhabitants, principally of African roots. The fabric of the society is shaped and fashioned by a unique blend of history, people, and culture. This proud nation has yielded world leaders such as Marcus Garvey and Norman Manley. Louise Bennett, Barrington Watson, and Bob Marley are examples of our cultural icons, with Bob being the most recognizable symbol of reggae music.
Rise and take the stance again.
Jamaicans are a sport-loving people. Cricket, track and field, and football are among the most popular spectator sports. The strength and resilience of the people are embodied in world-class athletes such as Merlene Ottey, Courtney Walsh, Herb McKinley, and Donald Quarry. Athletes that blaze the trail, preparing a foundation for 21st century sensations like Asafa Powell, Veronica Campbell, Shelly-Ann Fraser, and Usain Lightning Bolt.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next Prime Minister.
Sexual abuse is always a very difficult thing to confront, particularly when the alleged victim is a child. Parents, if it is that you suspect that your child has been sexually abused or is in a vulnerable set of circumstances where an abuse may occur, we encourage you to have dialogue with your child. Take the child to the pediatrician who normally attends to the child. If there is no such pediatrician, take your child to the clinic, to the hospital, to some medical practitioner who can do an assessment for you. It's very important as well that we don't just look at the physical side, but we also seek to find the kind of psychosocial support that a child may need. Does the child need a session with a counselor? Does the child need to speak with a pastor who is used to dealing with these issues? Does the child need to get that ongoing psychological support to assist with the healing process and also to assist the child in becoming strong enough, as it were, to deal with the various processes that will follow once it is that you suspect an abuse has occurred? If it is that the child actually discloses when you engage the child in discussion that yes, mommy and daddy, I was abused, we encourage you to entertain the child, to listen to what the child has to say to you, and to take it very seriously. So we really urge you to have those discussions and to seek guidance in terms of, do I speak to the police about this, which we always say you have to. Because once a child has been sexually abused, it's a criminal matter, and it means that once at all possible, the child should be assisted to go through the processes so that the perpetrator can in fact be held accountable. Support your child and let them understand in very clear terms that they are not the cause or the reason for this abuse having been perpetrated. But the most important element is to support them, get them access to the services that they need, and give them a chance to have you give them that listening ear. For these tips and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm. Thank you.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister, cause she could be the next Prime Minister.
And that's where we close things off, but only for today. We return round about the same time tomorrow. Catch up on this and other programs by visiting our website or YouTube channel. You may also keep connected through our pages that are available on all the major social media platforms. And be sure to download our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at DJIS, I'm Sandra Clark. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.